Okay, so I was linked this recently, and I don't know if you guys will know what this is, but this is the average like revenue, like gacha games or popular gacha games. At first, I was sent it because people were like, wow, Honkai Star Rail is making $40 million in a month. And also the horse game right below it is making 36 million, but it's not really a horse game. There's a lot of these really big games up here. So you see there's Honkai Star Rail, Musume, Genshin Impact, Nikkei, FGO, Dokkan Battle. But then I was wondering, where the heck is EpicSeven? So I scrolled down and thankfully we're not at the very bottom. Okay, so a lot of these games like Omega Lol, Artery Gear, or Alchemy Stars and Tact OP Symphony, which should have stayed in anime, are luckily at the bottom. And if we just scroll way the hell up, at number 17, what we have is EpicSeven. Now, why is this important? And why am I talking about this? Because it hasn't been talked about, or it really hasn't been discussed, except in comment sections and stuff. But EpicSeven's doing kind of good. Now, that isn't to say it doesn't have its ups and downs. So I just wanted to kind of back my people talk with some obvious evidence, because this is $5 billion in a month, which is better than, well, everything under it. So, and to be fair, there's not that much competition. Like, okay, Tower Fantasy, you know what I mean? Okay, Blue Archive. Anyways, EpicSeven is at 17th, and this is pretty good, obviously, because China server came out. But there is something that I want to start this off with, and is that although EpicSeven is doing a lot of good things with China specifically, or, you know, appealing to the Eastern audiences, we need to be kind of careful, because I don't know if you guys realize or not, but every single month, or basically every other week, I am like considering calling my bank to ask if there's like a minimum deposit fee, or if there's like a minimum balance fee, because every other week there's a new side story, there's a new character, there's a new artifact, there's a rerun of something, there's a hump buff, and this is kind of stupid. It's getting kind of dumb. However, that doesn't mean it's not bad, or that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. There's obviously really good features, but like there's a lot of good things that are being added to the game. I'm really happy with draft mode and like things that are really appealing to new players. The new player experience, I think nowadays, is probably the best it's ever been. There's still some issues with charms and unequipped costs and stuff like that, but being given free 88 gear, the new ML5s, like this, that, and the other thing, these are all nice things to compensate for the fact that we're basically being milked at every single corner. However, the one thing that isn't like, haha, here's the free thing, and haha, here's the other free like hunt buff thing, that I actually want to address, that people I think are kind of sleeping on, is the fact that EpicSeven's balance patches for the most part are really good. Okay, it's a double-edged sword when I say that, because this most recent patch, for instance, ML Kayron's buff was kind of something that everyone wanted. You know, you have ML Ken's buff. These are all things that people really wanted, right? Something to make these characters actually viable, useful, and they're nice against one of the most annoying characters in the game, which is, I admit, kind of a menace, and maybe we shouldn't have made her so freaking annoying. But ML Landy kind of has answers in the form of ML Ken and stuff like that. So I think the most recent balance patch and most balance patches this year have been really spot on. I can't think of a single balance patch that has actually gone poorly. The worst, I think, was probably maybe a kind of a head scratch as to why LQC got buffed. That didn't really make sense. Kawazu also doesn't really make sense in terms of why he got buffed. And the only thing I can kind of think of is that Kawazu and LQC were made to be more accessible to new players, which, again, kind of nice. But like I said, you have to be careful with like how you tune these things, because although we may be catering to China or to new players, LQC does, you know, if LQC started doing really stupid things with their damage, we'd have a problem, obviously, right? But if we dial, or if we rotate back a little bit to what I mentioned earlier with EpicSeven World Championship, that was one of the most exciting events that we've had this year. It is also one of the only events that we had this year. However, the casting, the events, the in-person, the jokes and memes about like Poopist as a name, and then, you know, Japan winning again and beating all the whales is pretty ridiculous, right? But all of that is to say that it feels a little more official. I get it, people don't like the 15%. We still have to work on some stuff if you want to be like a true esport, but since people are playing and since people are interested, you know, this is a nudge in the right direction. And stuff like the EpicSeven World Championship, I think, needs to continue coming out. We already had like an Amazon tournament that happened earlier on, and obviously it had to focus more on non-super competitive content, and it was, you know, it was like more new player focused. However, things like that on the weekends are very exciting. You know, you want to be able to see EpicSeven thrive. You want EpicSeven to constantly be in people's heads, and this is a great way to do it. events that the community can get in, or events that the community can get into, get sponsored for, or like enjoy and learn and prepare themselves for, very good. And that isn't including all the free drop events or Twitch drops, leaves, etc., etc. So all of that to say, I'm very happy with the E7 World Championship events. And so long as E7 does, I don't know, something like E7 come to TwitchCon, or like anime next, or anime New York City, that would be great, because I'm tired of flying over to the West Coast. Anything like that would be great. In-person events I think are also really nice. It is kind of hollow when you look around, like the atmosphere, like whenever you look around and you can't find anyone that plays your game. Whereas like in person right now, for instance, I could walk down the street and probably find someone that has played Genshin Impact before, or at least knows what Genshin Impact is. Long story short, I just wanted to like address the fact that EpicSeven is in a really good spot. Really happy with it. And like, this is obviously showing it, right? The 5 million up here last month and this month is pretty indicative of how well EpicSeven is doing. A quick note, like there's some controversies that are going on regarding E7, and I kind of wish there was a better way that they addressed it. Even when it came to some stuff with the E7 World Championship skin, a lot of that controversy wasn't even officially announced. That was kind of like addressed in like a DM, which is a bit, you know, that's not really good. Do you know what I mean? It should be something more, not like a more official, either an announcement on like their social media page or on Stove. I would appreciate that more. And there's some other controversies here and there, especially with like the E7 World Championship. But so long as they do that, and as I mentioned, work on community events, I think EpicSeven's in a great spot. I'm excited to see what this next year, or like I guess like this next anniversary, has for us. Hopefully we don't get milked by the next collab, but I mean, that's all I really wanted to talk about. But that's all I really wanted to talk about, guys. I'm really excited for EpicSeven. I don't think the game gets enough credit. There is a lot of bashing, especially because we have characters like Knockwall and Lua, and obviously like obviously with characters like Knockwall and Lua, I do want to preface, Lua is different. Lua is a problem character, but Knockwall was a bit overblown, or was a bit blown out of proportion, even for myself. But I had misinterpreted the kit. She's not as crazy as she actually looks, and she is a really interesting and fun character that also has clear weaknesses. So with all that being said, guys, that's all I was going to say for this video. Make sure to like, comment, turn the notification bell, subscribe. Let me know what you think about, I don't know, EpicSeven in 2023. I don't know. I'll probably name this something like why EpicSeven is succeeding in 2023. And anyways, guys, make sure to check out all my socials and the platforms. I'll see you on the next one. Adios.